And Christmas tree farms say this year's harvest looks good and they don't expect shortages. But Christmas trees are still going to cost you a lot more. It's because Christmas farms' operating costs, from labor and raw materials to shipping trees to retailers, have also risen over the last year. The industry group Real Christmas Tree Board in August surveyed 55 wholesale growers of Christmas trees who account for about 2/3 of the nationwide supply. They found 71% of those surveyed expect to raise the wholesale prices they charge retailers. Meanwhile, according to a Statista survey, more than 2/3 of Americans are planning to put up a Christmas tree this year. And earlier today, we spoke to a tree farm owner to get an idea of how much and why tree prices are going up this year. Here's Megan Kruger from Mistletoe Acres Tree Farm. Megan, thanks for coming on today. So now, we're seeing Christmas tree prices increasing year over year, according to some surveys, as much as 15%. So at Mistletoe Acres Tree Farm, are you seeing yourself having to raise prices a bit as well this year?
We have been raising prices slowly as the years have progressed, and there's a number of factors that lead to us raising our prices. Of course, we like to keep things reasonable for our customers while at the same time being able to fairly compensate our employees and our wholesalers as well.
So what would you say is the biggest contributing factor for your increasing of prices?
Probably one of the biggest factors driving the increase of prices is fuel. The price of fuel when we locked in our tree sales from our wholesalers this year was $7 a gallon for diesel. So that was back in July. And because of that and because of our delivery for our pre-cut trees, we kind of had to, compensate on our end so we can make sure we can keep the farm going and invest every year. Another factor was probably the cost of minimum wage going up, which is fantastic. All of our employees should be fairly compensated. But again, because of that, that did drive some of our tree prices up as well. And our wholesale prices went up anywhere between 10 and 50% this year. So we kind of had to find a really good balance, again, between making our products accessible for our customers, but also being able to support, this ecosystem that is our tree farm.
So earlier you mentioned labor costs, you mentioned fuel. Maybe just go into detail a little bit more. What actually goes into growing a tree?
Absolutely. So for the choose and cut trees that we grow here, we have to have our soil analyzed. So bringing in analysts costs money. We also fertilize. There's pest control, weed control. All of that requires fueling and maintaining our equipment. Yeah, it's a lot. And shearing and pruning trees. And it takes about 7 years for one tree to grow. So it's 7 years of putting in our love and energy and our dollars as well before the tree can even be cut down. And then we have to wait another 7 years before that crop is replenished. So it's time intensive and cost intensive for sure.
Now, what do you think it would take for you to be able to actually lower prices for your trees?
That's really hard to say. I think we would have to see a drop in fuel prices. I think we would have to see, some changes through our wholesalers. We do love them and we appreciate everything they do, and we understand why their costs have had to go up as well. But I think that, I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future, unfortunately. It seems like all the Christmas tree retailers are within the same price range. So if other retailers drop their prices, of course, we would want to as well. And we do have, a range of prices as well to offer to our customers. So they're not all super expensive trees. It depends on quality, species of the tree, size of the tree as well. But yeah, we always have hope for the future that our prices can be reduced slightly. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, let's just end on a lighter note with all the inflation talk. For our viewers, do you have any tree picking tips?
Yeah, honestly, probably the best tree that I've had experience with is Fraser fir tree. So we always recommend that very highly to our customers. Has great needle retention. So if you are someone that's looking to put your tree up prior to Thanksgiving, it'll certainly last. Mine lasts till New Year's every year. Make sure when you touch the branches, there aren't a lot of needles falling off. Make sure that you keep it watered regularly and in a room that the temperature isn't too high, and you should have a great tree that lasts you throughout the season.
Well, all right, Megan Kruger, Mistletoe Tree Farms, thanks again. Happy holidays.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. Happy holidays to you as well.